Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. My name is JGOD. In today's video, I'm actually going to be using Tiermaker to make my all-time Call of Duty tier list. And a lot of this has been going on. I've seen it a bunch on Twitter, and I've seen a few videos popped up over on my timeline for channels that I'm subscribed to. And I thought, why not try this myself and actually give you guys a little bit of insight of what I think, specifically when it comes to Call of Duty. Obviously, these are my preferences, and I'm sure many of you will agree, and a lot of you will disagree. I guess it really just comes down to your preferences, which at the end of the day, that's what this list is all about. So we're going to go ahead and go through these and just kind of see where it all ends up. Right here, I'm going to go ahead and start off with Call of Duty Modern Warfare. This one was actually played in its prime, was probably considered legendary. And if you're thinking back to it, it's probably kind of like GOATed as far as like being an all-time great Call of Duty. But I think when you play it now, I think it's just an overall decent Call of Duty with all the changes that have happened over the years, that they've added new content as far as being able to cycle through streaks, all the different various stuff that they continue to add, whether it's the Pick 10 system, specialist map design, whatever it is, they've modified the game in ways that make this one a little bit less great. So the next one up, let's go World at War. I did not play World at War in its prime. I played it, but I did not play it in its prime. I think overall it falls in that category too, because they've gone and advanced so much stuff. This one didn't even have camos. So as far as like the overall entertainment value of people able to have the creativity, it was just all about gun skill. So as far as the basic Call of Duty, it's pretty good. But I would go ahead and put that one as decent as well. Let's go ahead and go on to the next one. Black Ops. I think this is pretty much a great COD. I like the streaks. Too bad you couldn't cycle them over and over. But overall, this was the Call of Duty that really got me into multiplayer. I played a lot of more of these other ones. I didn't really have good internet access when Modern Warfare and World at War came out. So by the time Black Ops came out, I actually was able to invest some time into playing Call of Duty extensively on multiplayer. I think these ones I had like 5 up, 5 down, or something less than that, where it was pretty difficult, or I had to connect wirelessly, which it wasn't good at that time. Let's go ahead and see. Let's go Modern Warfare 2. I think Modern Warfare 2 is almost a legendary COD. I played it quite a bit, but as we'll get to later, I still do not rank it legendary. I'd probably put it in the great category, just because it had a lot of fun elements to it. It had a callable nuke, pretty good loadouts, variety in weapons, different map design, really good. But it still is just a shy of being legendary in my book. So let's go ahead and continue on down the list. That gives us Black Ops 2. And I think this is a legendary Call of Duty. I know a lot of people are against it, hyped about it. Whatever the case is, there's a lot of differing opinions. I think most people think that this Call of Duty was just good overall. And people that didn't invest a lot of time in it, maybe they just didn't appreciate it. I don't know. But overall, I like the map design, the overall weapons. I've gone through and played Black Ops 2 quite a bit. Unfortunately, it just sucks that the multiplayer is hacked. So if I want to go back and play, I could play for 3 hours and I'll get only one good lobby. And even those lobbies, when people leave, brand new people join that are hacking. So I don't even get the concept of hacking over and over and over. I think that just gets kind of stale. Which one's the next one up? We're going to go with Modern Warfare 3. And Modern Warfare 3 is probably my second most played COD all time. I think Black Ops 2 is probably my first, and then Modern Warfare 3 is my number 1. Not sure why. I think I just had a lot of fun playing it. I like the streaks. I like the overall maps. I like the characters, the weapons. Pretty much all around, I think this was probably one of my favorite CODs of all time. And these are like my top 2 Call of Duties when it comes to just overall gameplay. Let's go ahead and go to the next one. Ghost. I would say that's more of a decent COD. I played it. I like the perk system. Maps were a little bit funky. They weren't a lot of fun to play that I recall. Yeah, I don't have much to say about Ghost. It was kind of not memorable. And I think part of the issue was that it came out when new Call of Duties, or when the new consoles came out, the next gen. So some people were stuck to the old gen and some people were on the new gen. So you had that variety where it was like, well, half my friends are playing and on Xbox and people switch consoles. I mean, there was a lot going on with Ghost. It just didn't work out. And I think it was just bad timing on the launch based off the console generations. Advanced Warfare. It brought a ton of new elements with the advanced movement. I actually love advanced movement, but I think this is more of a blah Call of Duty. I think it had tons of customization. No, I'm not going to put blah. I'm going to put decent. I actually had a lot of fun with it, but I think the advanced movement was a little too much, at least the way it was done. I think as we'll get to in the next Call of Duties that I'm going to talk about, it slowly progressed and improved over time. The actual movement became much more crisp, smooth, and then obviously it's different developers. I'm not really a huge fan of Sledgehammer Games, even though that was their first game. They came out the gate very innovative, but obviously the community didn't accept it quite as much as I would have liked, because I prefer advanced movement. It gives that outplay potential. So now let's go ahead and go into Black Ops 3. Black Ops 3, I know people love this Call of Duty, and I'm actually going to rank it up because it has better advanced movement. I think the weapons are fun to play with. Like I said, when I've done all of my evolution videos, I've gone back, played these, and it just seems that I can have a lot of fun with this. I just don't like the long loading times, poor hit reg, and movement is still not as refined as Infinite Warfare, which we'll get to next. Right here, the next one is going to be Infinite Warfare. So Infinite Warfare, a lot of people hated on it. Personally, I thought it was one of the most fun Call of Duties. I thought it was even more fun than these other ones that are below it here, and I actually put it together up here. I know a lot of people are going to go against that. Personally, it is an all-time Call of Duty for me. Number one in jetpacking. I know there's a lot of BO3 bandwagon Treyarch lover people that are out there that just blind hate on it. Obviously, it was the most disliked trailer in Call of Duty history for the reveal, and people just hated. And then there was a lot of bandwagon hate. But generally, even on that Reddit, it was probably one of the least toxic Reddit communities that I was a part of when I was a part of that, compared to BO3 or even the other two games we'll get to, which basically it seems like people are complaining all the time in the new guns. But Infinite Warfare, it was a solid community. Zombies, people were happy. One of the best campaigns in the past like 8 years. If you play any kind of campaign, it was the better of all of these titles that have been coming out. And then we got World War II. I think World War II in the beta, I felt like it was going to be a really good Call of Duty. Then they went and changed some stuff. The game launched, and then it was decent. And then it really just became AIDS once everyone found out that requisitions was a thing and that you could be the worst player in COD history and you will get full streaks. I even saw a video where somebody got 3 paratroopers with 0 kills. You don't believe me? Go ahead and look at it. I'm pretty sure maybe it's 2 sets of paratroopers. Either way, you shouldn't be able to get some of the higher tier streaks in a game with 0 kills. That's just my opinion. I don't know how many people agree, but some people say, hey, that's what a lot of people used, and requisitions was the go-to perk or combat stuff. I don't know. Either way, it just was not a enjoyable Call of Duty from a Call of Duty perspective. Obviously, it's still worth playing. It's a Call of Duty, so it's a pretty good game overall, because Call of Duty in general brings a lot to the table. The sad part is that because it brings a lot to the table, it has slowly over time executed each of those segments less and less. Before it was just campaign, multiplayer came out, and then they added zombies, and then we got zombie spec ops and all. So now they're splitting up all this money in these teams, and then with the new blackout mode, we're going to see how that one ends up positioning this one. So overall, I think this is a decent COD. I think the fact that they added bare bones, impressive. The big problem that ruins the Black Ops for me now, I would have put it decent. I would have just left it here. Where it is in its current state, just based off gameplay, the fact that the zombies is there, and they have a blackout mode, which I'm not really a fan of, BRs. But the big issue for me is that they really messed it up on the microtransaction side. I didn't even touch it when we talked about BO3, because that one had a huge flop in microtransaction side, because it was basically RNG if you're ever going to get the weapons you want. But BO4 took it a step further and said, the heck with RNG, we're just going to make you pay $30 for a hammer. And for me, that's excessive. I don't care who you are. If you're a millionaire, it just doesn't make sense to spend $30 on a cosmetic hammer in a game that it used to be free, where you could just get it for free. So I'm going to go ahead and put that down to blah. And obviously you can see my list. Some of you guys are going to agree, disagree. I kind of thought about it after I've seen a bunch of other lists. I actually modified my list slightly. It used to be a category that said trash. I thought blah was a better idea, because even though they're not really great Call of Duties, they're not trash by any means. But the not worth playing, you can see that's empty. I think every Call of Duty title is definitely worth playing, and it was even more worth playing in its prime. Let me know down in the description below. I'm going to go ahead and leave a link to this actual site, and you'll be able to rearrange them yourself. If you want to go ahead and tag me on Twitter, show me what you guys thought, agree to disagree, or whatever the case is, because 99% chance we're not going to agree and have the exact same list. And if you did enjoy the video, please remember to hit that like button, subscribe with notifications on so you can find your way back. Appreciate all the support. Thank you for watching. As always, have a great day.